Coming up on Around San Diego, sexual abuse allegations surface against civil rights activist Cesar Chavez. California leaders share their reaction and the plan moving forward. Plus, San Diego police with a warning how to keep your home safe from thieves when the temperatures rise. And new details about that massive mansion party in Rancho Santa Fe that quickly spun out of control with hundreds of underage kids attending. Hello and welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm News 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on our top stories of the week so far, and we will look ahead at what's to come around San Diego. We do begin with local leaders who are responding to bombshell sexual abuse allegations against labor rights leader Cesar Chavez. We are learning more about the allegations as institutions and landmarks named after Chavez grapple with what to do next. Reports allege that he sexually abused followers as young as 12 years old in the 1970s. 95-year-old Dolores Huerta, who co-founded United Farm Workers with Chavez, also issued a statement stating that Chavez had raped her. News 8's Richard Allen reports from Chavez Elementary School in Southcrest, one of many local institutions named after the civil rights activist.
I was deeply just horrified and hurt.
Ana Hernandez is executive director of Centro Cultural de la Raza in Balboa Park.
This is personal. I tend to think that we lionize these icons that we create to our own detriment.
And for decades, Cesar Chavez has been an icon for the labor movement, the farm workers movement, and the immigrant rights movement.
This doesn't throw the movement into disarray.
Hernandez says it's important to keep that in mind moving forward.
Any movement is much larger than any particular leader, icon, symbol, representative, and so on and so forth, and that all of these folks need to be held accountable just as the rest of us do.
The name Cesar Chavez is found throughout San Diego, from Cesar Chavez Elementary School to Cesar E. Chavez Parkway to this enormous mural in Chicano Park to Cesar E. Chavez campus in Barrio Logan, part of the San Diego Community College District. Already, the district says it's reviewing a potential renaming of the campus, saying, quote, "These reports are deeply concerning and our thoughts are with everyone impacted. SDCCD is committed to providing a safe, respectful environment for all, and we do not tolerate sexual misconduct or abuse of any kind." Also Wednesday, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria called the accusation shocking and disturbing, adding, quote, "Our first concern must be with the survivors who have come forward and those who were unable to do so. Their courage in speaking out, often at great personal cost, ought to be recognized, respected, and supported."
We were sharing all this, and so I think all of us are processing it.
Governor Newsom also said today he's open to the idea of renaming Cesar Chavez Day, which takes place in less than 2 weeks.
We're for justice, we're for the truth, we're for transparency. We want to have the backs of our victims, but it's a sensitive moment.
I was devastated.
Carla Reyes is operations manager of Centro Cultural de la Raza. She says she is very proud of the women who have spoken up.
I send them lots of love and empowerment because that was courageous, and I think it allows us to reflect on who we're idolizing.
Richard Allen, News 8.
Richard, thank you. Our other top headline, San Diego County was quite hot this week, and it is a concern for firefighters. Heat can quickly dry out vegetation and create the perfect fuel for wildfires.
Anytime that grass dries out, we're going to see quicker fire growth. So when we have really green grass, we have really slow burning fires. When it starts to dry out, that increases the speed and the intensity of the fire.
Yeah, let's all be mindful. CAL FIRE says this is the time of year when they do start ramping up staffing to make sure they are prepared for peak fire season. CAL FIRE is reminding us all this is not the week to do yard work, especially with lawnmowers on over dry grass. If you are out and about in the heat, it's best to wear loose and light clothing, sunscreen for sure, and stay hydrated. And as the weather heats up in San Diego, the San Diego Police Department says house break-ins and thefts go up as well. The San Diego Police Department says they see a spike in home break-ins over the summer as more people are outside and visitors come to town. Authorities say it's important to stay vigilant and keep windows and doors locked if you are not home.
I know the windows want to be open. People want to be more relaxed with things, casual outside. Windows being open aren't the safest option. As best you can, monitor them and always know that which windows you left open, which windows are easily accessible from the outdoors.
Yeah, the San Diego Police Department says if you come home and notice anything is missing or perhaps a door open that wasn't before, certainly call 911. And SDG&E is sharing tips to stay cool while saving money on your energy bills. They suggest you use ceiling and portable fans instead of AC. Set those thermostats to around 78 degrees when you are home and higher when you're away. Close blinds and curtains to block direct sunlight and limit appliance use. Energy is typically most expensive between 4 and 9 p.m. This winter heat wave is also changing wildlife behavior across the county. Wildlife experts say warmer temperatures are bringing animals out earlier than usual. That includes rattlesnakes, squirrels, and rabbits, which in turn attracts predators like coyotes and birds of prey. The heat is also drying up natural water sources, pushing animals closer to neighborhoods in search of food and water.
Really recommend to not leave food out. Even bird seed will attract predators like coyotes. They'll eat just about anything.
Experts urge residents to avoid leaving food outside and protect pets as wildlife activity increases during these heat spells. And right now, Homeland Security is responding after a report from San Diego County found a steep increase in immigration detentions. The county report found the average daily population at the Otay Mesa Detention Center has increased around 200% in recent years. Some county leaders are concerned the surge is straining conditions inside the detention center. In a statement, Homeland Security says, quote, ensuring the safety, security, and well-being of individuals in our custody is a top priority at ICE. They say detainees are provided with proper meals, quality water, blankets, and medical treatment. Well, new state and federal policy changes may soon impact some CalFresh or Medi-Cal recipients here in San Diego County. These changes will roll out over a span of several months. So here are some key dates to note. Starting April 1st, certain non-citizens will be not eligible for CalFresh, including asylum seekers and refugees. June 1st, then, some adult CalFresh recipients will be required to work 80 hours a month or volunteer in order to keep their benefits. There are some exemptions. And similarly, on January 1st, then, of 2027, some Medi-Cal recipients will need to meet new work or community engagement rules. Well, we are learning an artillery shell that exploded over the 5 near Camp Pendleton last October was caused by a rare equipment malfunction. That's according to a Marine Corps investigation. The round detonated prematurely while mid-air, shattering shrapnel onto that closed stretch of the freeway during a live fire demonstration celebrating the Marine Corps' 250th birthday. Fragments hit CHP vehicles, but thankfully no one was hurt. Investigators say Marines followed safety procedures and this was likely caused by an extremely rare failure in the shell's electronic time fuse. Coming up, slower roads and hopefully safer streets, the new move from the San Diego City Council, and when you could see some new speed limits. Plus, soccer fans, get ready. Snapdragon Stadium is set to hold some Olympic soccer matches in 2028. We'll have those details. Welcome back. Now to an update. An effort to protect free parking at city beaches could soon go before voters. A city council committee has given initial approval to a proposed ballot measure that would lock free beach and bay parking into city code. That means only voters could then change it in the future. Council member Raul Campillo proposed it in the wake of controversy over parking fees there at Balboa Park. The measure still needs a second committee vote before heading to the full city council and potentially then voters in the November ballot. And speed limits will be reduced on about 20% of the roads in the city of San Diego. The city council also approved that this week. Safety corridors, streets with higher concentrations of fatal and serious injury crashes, and high pedestrian areas could see a 5-mile-per-hour reduction. Business districts could drop to 25, and school zones are included for the first time, dropping as low as 15 miles per hour. This is set to be implemented in 2027. And right now, the company behind Sesame Street is suing SeaWorld over lost revenue. Sesame Workshop says SeaWorld owes millions in royalties for using its characters at a water park in Pennsylvania and for lost revenue when SeaWorld shifted to a seasonal schedule at its water park there in Chula Vista, closing for several months of the year. The parks are named Sesame Place but are operated by SeaWorld. Sesame Workshop says SeaWorld ignored arbitration, mediation, and even a court order requiring payment. The two companies had worked in various partnerships for 45 years. And right now, San Diego County health officials are warning people about a possible measles exposure at Sharp Memorial Hospital in the Birdland neighborhood. The county says an adult from another state tested positive after visiting the ER last Wednesday. Now officials say anyone who visited that ER between 11 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. should call County Public Health Services at the number on your screen, 866-358-2966. Symptoms to watch out for include fever, cough, runny nose, and red eyes. A red rash will appear 1 to 4 days later, and measles typically takes about 21 days after exposure. Also, new details about that massive party in Rancho Santa Fe last weekend. What started as a 16th birthday party really exploded after it spread on social media with hundreds of teens. The sheriff's office says the teens' parents called deputies for help when the crowd refused to leave. CHP and San Diego police came in as backup, taking nearly 2 hours to clear the crowd. Investigators say minors were drinking alcohol and the parents violated the county's social host ordinance. With spring break starting and graduation season around the corner, deputies have this reminder for parents.
If you are hosting a party where alcohol is being provided to minors, or if you're furnishing alcohol to minors, even your own children, you can be held liable.
Yeah, violating the social host ordinance is a misdemeanor, so the parents were ticketed. Well, now to a dozen soccer matches for the LA Olympics in 2028. It kicks off with 11 group stage matches on July 11th, 14th, and 17th. Then Snapdragon hosts the women's quarterfinal on July 21st, followed by the men's and women's semifinals on July 24th and 25th. Both bronze medal matches will also be played in San Diego on July 27th and 28th. Should be fun. Tickets go on sale in April. Still ahead, a scam disguised as SDG&E. We are working for you to let you know what red flags to watch out for. Welcome back. Hawaii is recovering after a severe storm led to flash flooding, mudslides, and widespread power outages all across the state. That storm has been hammering the islands for almost a week. One part of Maui saw 32 inches of rain in 72 hours. And at one point, more than 100,000 people across the state were without power, including San Diegan Michael Mackey, who's visiting Oahu for a wedding. He shared video with News 8 showing what it's like to drive on those flooded parts of the island.
San Diego, born and raised. We see rain, but we don't see rain like this. It was absolutely insane. And there's a dam up on the North Shore that overflowed and flooded. And one of the days we were driving around, we didn't know, we actually got caught in it.
Ooh, you stay safe. The state has issued emergency proclamations, and the Red Cross has nearly a dozen shelters open with volunteers here in San Diego on standby, ready to deploy in case they are needed. And you know it, San Diego, it is one of the priciest places to live in the country. Now a new survey shows it is getting even more expensive. Online consumer finance website Smart Asset ranked San Diego 67th in the nation for cost of living increases, with nearly a 4% jump over the past year. A University of San Diego economics professor points to housing and gas prices as the cause. He also says the region's popularity is working against residents.
California is a desirable place to live, and that attracts people, and that drives up the cost of living, particularly housing.
The Agans we talked with who rely on food assistance say they are also feeling cost increases at the grocery store every single day. Yeah, the average price of a home now over $1 million. All right, well, as gas prices do continue to rise, MTS has launched a new tool to show you how much you could save by using public transit. Their commute cost calculator compares your daily round trip to what it would cost to use transit instead. It factors distance, mileage, frequency, and gas prices of your commute versus the transit rates. You can find the tool in both English and Spanish on the MTS website to see how much you could save. And right now we are learning scammers are impersonating SDG&E, targeting customers. Scammers are calling and texting, demanding immediate payment or threatening to shut off your power the same day. Working for you, the energy company says to watch out for urgency, one of the biggest red flags. They are not going to call you and they are not going to shut off your power day of. These scams also sadly do look very legitimate, using official logos, addresses, and reference numbers, so don't fall for it.
San Diego Gas and Electric is never going to call and demand payment over the phone. 99% of the time when you pay your utility bill, all utility bills, you are not transacting with a human being. And that's a security feature. That's a protection to make sure that you don't get caught up in a scam.
San Diego Gas and Electric also says they do not accept Bitcoin, Zelle, or gift cards. If you are unsure, go to their official website or call only the number on your bill. Still ahead, how the San Alejo Lagoon was restored through nonprofits and volunteers. Those details next in an Earth 8 report. Thank you for staying with us as we continue to take you around San Diego. So San Diego's wetlands along the 5 corridor are certainly one of a kind, but years of neglect and invasive plants have taken their toll. Now at San Alejo Lagoon, a local group is fighting back and they have international backup. News 8 meteorologist Sean Stiles shares more in this Earth 8 report.
San Alejo Lagoon is a unique part of a series of lagoons up and down the San Diego coastline. And as you look over my shoulder, you can see this area is doing very well. It's due in part to a conservation effort and restoration by the Nature Collective.
So we work with volunteers who are hands on the ground, and they are removing invasive species. And that's where we start out a habitat restoration project.
Jennifer Bright is the CEO of the Nature Collective. They helped restore and maintain the San Alejo Lagoon.
This lagoon is so important because it provides habitat for over 1,000 species of plants and animals throughout the almost 1,000-acre San Alejo Lagoon Ecological Reserve.
And by restoring native vegetation, native animals are returning.
Well, animals can only eat certain species. So if they went into a grocery store with 100 different products, they could only eat one of the species. So they need that to survive a lot of the times.
To do this type of hard work, it takes a lot of effort. And that's where the global organization Sea Trees comes in. Leah Hayes is the program director.
Oh, it's just so heartwarming and encouraging, isn't it, to see so much of these plants come back and the abundance and diversity of so many different species that are ultimately feeding other plants and animals.
As a worldwide environmental advocate, Sea Trees helps on multiple levels.
So traditionally, Sea Trees works by financially supporting grassroots organizations all the way up to academic institutions to scale their restoration work.
That help is not one size fits all.
The way that we work with the Nature Collective is by working with local brands who are interested in giving back and actually putting money, effort, and enthusiasm into their local environment.
The conservation effort is paying off big time in the San Alejo Lagoon.
And when you look behind us, you can see how dense this native vegetation is. This is a restored habitat. It's very unlikely that an invasive species could come in and start taking over their habitat because they have claimed it.
And here's a quote from Leah if you think you can't make a difference.
You know, often people say, I'm just one drop in a massive ocean. What sort of impact am I going to make? But we have to remind people that the ocean is a multitude of drops. And so every single impact, every single action we take actually does make a cumulative effort.
As you drive by along the Coast Highway and look right and or left and see the San Alejo Lagoon and say, I'd like to be part of that, I'm going to put a link on this web story where you can contact Sea Trees or the Nature Collective. Sean Stiles, birthday.
Very impressive, Sean. Thanks. And one more for you. Right now, a northwestern gray wolf is recovering after a rare trip to a vet clinic in La Mesa. Yana, who they've named, an 11-year-old gray wolf from the California Wolf Center in Julian, was taken to the specialty clinic after developing persistent nasal issues. Neat to see him up close. Veterinarians performed a CT scan and used a small camera to examine a mass inside her nose. For one doctor, it was his first time treating a wolf.
Not had the chance to work on a wolf before.
I've known Dr. Cecil for about 30 years, and we've worked together on all kinds of animals. And yeah, I called and I said, how would you like to do some procedures on a wolf? And he laughed at me, but here we are.
Yeah, I've been out to that center in Julian. Pretty cool. A sample has now been sent out for testing. We will keep you posted on Yana's recovery. All right, that'll do it for us. Thank you, as always, for your time. Thank you for staying informed. For News 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care and try to stay cool out there. Thanks for watching.